You think I'll let you zone?
Okay, this one popped up on Steam during an indie showcase, but the demo itself isn't very long, and it also drew me in because of the art style. It's a detective adventure game, Ambroise Niflette and the Gleaming Bell. As you can see, everything in this world and town are modeled after puppets, stuffed dolls, and toys like Ambroise, who looks like a wind-up toy, or the mayor, who is a stuffed rabbit. It's cool that it's emulating stop-motion animation. This little detective game is being developed by Topaz Studio, whose first project is this game, and from what I can see in the small slice of the prologue, is a lot of love and care went into the design of the characters and the town that this takes place in. The story starts off by Ambroise saying how awesome he is as a detective, but one day he got a letter from a creepy mailman that the church bell from the village of Tofor has been snatched the day before their Thyme Apple Festival. Ambroise jumps into the whip and rides into town. Once there, we find out that Ambroise used to live there in Tofor when he was a kid, but that can wait as he rushes to the mayor's office in pouring rain. He stopped by a weird sound on the way there. Ambroise tells the mayor that he came as fast as he could, but the dumpy rabbit doesn't know what he's talking about. Ambroise is too early for the festival, as that doesn't start until tonight. Does Ambroise mean that the Gleaned Bell? But that's still in its spot. The little detective shoves the letter in his face, saying that he was the one who urged him to come. The mayor denies sending the letter, that when this guy Martin comes screaming in the office that the Gleaned Bell has been stolen. The mayor feels like he's going crazy, so he asks Ambroise to follow him as he waddles out of his desk area. At the church, the mayor says they can't have the festival if the bell is gone, so he asks Ambroise if he is a detective, can he help with this robbery. The little detective, heated, says that this is what he's been trying to do since he got here. Just then, another sound goes off, and Martin says it's from the front of the village. The village of Tofor is surrounded by a moat, and that the bridge was the only way in and out. So the bell must be very heavy and can't be carried very far. Then that means the thieves must still be in the village. The mayor tells the little detective that he's a genius, so they will go to the town hall and round everyone up to explain the situation. At the public freakout, the mayor says that they will catch the thieves as they are among the villagers because the bridge is down, so the festival can continue after they solve this case. The mayor tells Ambroise to stay in the square and get any info he can while he gets his contract and accommodations ready. This is the part where the game shows you how to gather clues and alibis for characters during a case. Ambroise will gather evidence and testimonies in his notebook, as well as the identities of the villagers like Samuel Fruiterer. He manages the grocery store, but since all the commotion and the bridge out of commission, orders and shipments will slow down till it's fixed. He also owns a bar in town called Bar of Thyme. He opens an invitation to the detective to stop by for a drink. Next, there is this gal, Azalie Pavone, who disrespects you by mistaking you for a little shit-stained kid, asking questions about the festival until Ambroise corrects her, saying that he's the detective on the case. She is the teacher in town and has 3 students. There aren't many kids in the village anymore, as most leave when they are old enough to, though the mayor's announcement ended class early. Next, the game shows us that we can cross-reference evidence with others to make sure they aren't telling a lie to throw Ambroise off the trail. So we go to talk to the smooth as silk Sammy about what Azalie said about her kids, that they were in class during the robbery, is true or not. Back with Sammy, he saw the little Rugrats at the square in the morning, but they were headed to the foot of the village, not school. Back with Azalie's lying ass, and she corrects her white lie, I'm onto you girl, like white on rice, saying that they did go to school but left after the square meeting. We find out that Little Miss students are always here doesn't always have much authority to her kids as they play hooky or leave the school as soon as the bell hits 4. In all honesty, only one of the kids, Gatin, goes to school and leaves on time every day. The mayor says everything is ready to be signed, but first we are introduced to the mayor's secretary and wife, Josephine. The contract is almost finalized and they are just waiting on that, but he shows the detective to his new living quarters while in Tofor. The villagers use it as a storage, so just move things around if he needs more room and come to the square in the morning. Here's another mechanic, the day and night system, where certain events only happen during the day, like stores that only operate during daylight hours. When Ambroise decides to take a siesta and wakes up at night to do some sleuthing, what better way than hitting the bar? At bar time, Sammy's kind of bummed that no one showed up to talk about their misfortune because the apple juice usually loosens lips, especially after the festival disaster. But it gives us an idea to invite suspects out for a drink if they're unwilling to talk for more info. But be careful, as you can invite more than one person. More on that later because of what happened. Ambroise hits the sack and wakes up, more of the town opens up, and we start up a convo with the baker Rachel Bumbell. And she already knows we are the detective, but sounds kind of like a Karen, as she is already trying to spill tea that there are people in this village who we should not mingle with. She doesn't want to sway the detective's decision, but she already took it up with the mayor about a partisan. But the florist next door isn't a saint and probably is a bitch, though we didn't hear it from her. Before we go, we can get this oil for the car next to the shop. Rachel catches us grabbing the bottle and lets us have it because she has more than enough. Back with Patrick, he is able to refuel and tell us to come by the farm as we have unlocked a new area, with Ambroise saying that he is a weirdo. Next is the florist, Narcissi Porton. She apologizes thinking that we were an out-of-town customer because they always come to order a bouquet for the cemetery. If you talk to her about Rachel, then these two have had beef for a while, and Rachel hates most people, but one thing they do agree on is the new city dweller that moved here is very suspicious. At the school, we run into one of the kids that actually shows up for class, Gaten Pepes, who is a little ass kisser, but he was at the town meeting. You can question Azali about Mr. Maport, and she relents that he arrived a few years ago, but wouldn't stop bitching about the bells ringing and suggests that he stole it. Man, she just accused someone with no evidence whatsoever other than they're from Paris. At the farm, we talk to Patrick again, and it's peaceful here, but Lucien is working in the orchard, and at night he rests at the farmhouse. At the orchard, we meet Lucien Fruiter, who is Sam's brother. He says there is some bullshit legend that the apples around here get their taste from the bell, but now that it's gone, the apples will taste like ass. He doesn't believe in it, and after looking around, we head back to the mayor. The mayor finally is done with the paperwork, and Ambroise can sign the contract for the case. If Ambroise can find the bell, then they can give him his bag, then put on a trial for the perpetrator. And that's the end of the demo, as I think this is a work in progress prologue, that there were other places in the village you can technically go to, but they're blocked off and they have some variants of saying that they aren't available in this demo, like the graveyard or another area by the detective's room. Now back to the bar mechanic. You can invite anyone who you want to go and hang out with. Sam will be the bartender and give his 2 cents on things, but be warned, as I didn't know this at the time, and as of right now, if you choose the bar invite, there's no way to double confirm. I invited Narcy, but also invited Rachel by accident, and they went at it with the bitch fest. I think Rachel and Sam are a couple with their dialogue pointing that way, like after you talk to Rachel for the first time, then Samuel, he comments that her hands are so soft. Narcy fans the flames by cozying up to Sam, and I think he's just being nice, though I see it might all just be to piss off Rachel, so you don't really get anything out of it but a hilarious interaction through the whole thing. If the bus studio can add some other things to do at night with a day and night mechanic, then they have something really fun here, as Ambroise can not only take notes from suspects, he can also take pictures and get key items to inspect if he needs more information on a topic. One thing about the demo is that it's technically not compatible with the DualSense controller, as you might run into bugs while playing, as I did, but they're only minor. Ambroise Niflette and the Gleaned belt doesn't have a release date yet, but if they can pull off a win with this charming premise, then I'll be seeing more cases from Mr. Niflette in the future. That should do it for this video. Stay gold, guys, and I'll see you next time.